Well, let's shift our focus now to rising tensions between major world powers. Japan and the United States are raising fresh alarms over China's recent military actions. A radar incident near Taiwan is now triggering a fast-moving chain of events. Japan's Defense Minister Shinjiro Koizumi and his US counterpart Pete Hegseth agreed that Beijing's behavior is not conducive to regional peace. The two held a call after Chinese aircraft recently locked radar on Japanese jets near Taiwan. Both sides described the move as dangerous and deeply destabilizing. Tokyo says the December 6 incident involved Chinese J-15 fighter jets operating from the Liaoning carrier. Now, that's a Chinese military vessel that launches aircraft. According to Japan, the jets twice locked fire control radar onto Japanese aircraft that were scrambled near Okinawa. Tokyo noted that this type of radar is typically used when preparing to target another aircraft.
The core issue is that while the Japanese side was appropriately implementing countermeasures against the airspace violation, the Chinese side conducted intermittent radar lock-on for approximately 30 minutes. We will continue to strongly demand that the Chinese side prevent any recurrence of such dangerous actions that exceed the scope necessary for the safe flight of aircraft.
China, however, accused Japan of entering its training area without authorization and hyping up the situation.
China's Ministry of National Defense has released related information on the China-Russia joint patrol, and we made response yesterday. Let me stress once again that this China-Russia Joint Strategic Air Patrol is an operation carried out under the annual cooperation plan and demonstrates the two sides' determination and capability in jointly responding to regional security challenges and safeguarding regional peace and stability. There is no need for Japan to make a fuss or feel targeted.
Japan's defense minister wrote on X, saying Beijing is spreading claims that are completely contrary to the facts. He added that Japan is avoiding escalation and responding calmly, while still issuing corrections and keeping communication channels open. Well, the radar incident was followed by a rapid military escalation in the region. On Tuesday, two Russian nuclear-capable bombers linked up with Chinese bombers and conducted a joint flight around Japan. The maneuver forced Japan to scramble its own fighter jets.
Through diplomatic channels, the government has conveyed to both China and Russia-Japan's serious security concerns regarding the continued joint activities by Chinese and Russian military forces around our nation, including this recent joint flight.
Meanwhile, on Thursday, Japan and the United States carried out joint air drills with two US B-52 bombers flying alongside Japanese F-35 and F-15 fighter jets. According to Tokyo, the drills were intended as a show of force following the China-Russia drills. South Korea also confirmed that Russian and Chinese aircraft entered its air defense zone on Tuesday, while Seoul responded by scrambling jets of its own. Beijing and Moscow insist their mission is part of routine annual cooperation. Well, this sharp turn of events follows comments by Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi last month. She suggested Japan would intervene militarily if China attacks Taiwan. Beijing strongly objected at the time, and that political dispute is now unfolding against a backdrop of intensifying military maneuvers. From radar lock-ons to joint bomber flights and US-Japan tactical drills, the region is experiencing a sudden spike in military activity, all tied to rising tensions over Taiwan and Japan's shifting security posture. Tokyo and Washington say they're preparing for a more volatile Indo-Pacific environment, while China and Russia insist their operations are routine. So for now, the region watches on with concern over what comes next.
I was born into revolution. I inherited power like a crown. What I delivered was isolation. I built a personality cult that touched every home. Millions suffered hunger under my rule, but no one dared to speak. I ruled from palaces. My people queued for rice. I called myself the dear leader. History calls me something else, the dictator. Who am I?